One way to keep grass from encroaching in your trees, often grass will try and encroach around the trees and over there and around the smaller circles, is one way of doing it is using 99% sulfur from Holly Industries or sulfur from somewhere else, and the sulfur will keep the grass from encroaching around the trees. It'll kill it, just like pine needles kill grass. The pine needles won't allow any grass to grow around the pine trees. Sulfur does the same thing. They're both acidic. And so you just spread it out. Just do a fine layer. Just do a thin layer all the way around, and it'll keep the grass out. It'll last a couple of years at least. It's an organic way of doing weed control. And so it works really effectively. And now maples, you don't want to get near the trunk. Right? Over here, if you get sulfur here, that's not good. It'll burn the bark off. Oaks can take acidic soil, and not as important, and if the ground is sloped, the sulfur can wash in, not from this distance, but it possibly could wash in and hit the trunk. So you want it sloped away from the trunk with a mulch, so the sulfur can't wash in. But it works really, really quite well without breathing in those evil, wicked herbicides, which aren't any fun. So that's my tip on how to keep grass out of the trees, so you don't have to weed them all the time. Over here, we'll do this one here. Little trees, just do a little bit less. For little trees, well, that's a little too thick. Just a little bit less thick. Just put a band around it. It should be complete. Or you just smooth it out, crush the lumps, and then you put mulch over. That's the key, is to put mulch over top. So here we'll put mulch over here. We'll just cover it up with the mulch so you don't see it, and then the mower doesn't bring up the sulfur. Blow it around. So you cover it up with mulch. Make sure it's good and thick over top. And so now you can't see the sulfur, but the sulfur will do its job and it'll burn the roots of the grass and any other weed that comes in contact. So once you have the whole area weed free, then the sulfur works really, really well to put it all around the edge. Now if your whole area is full of weeds, you can fill in with sulfur the whole area, and this is a big area, but for smaller circles you can fill in the whole area, but keep it back from the bark, especially the maples, tulip trees, non-acid loving plants. You don't want to get the sulfur near it because it'll burn the bark off and kill it. But otherwise it works really good. In this case, we're way far from the tree, so it's not going to really affect the tree at all. The sulfur won't burn it, and it'll burn the grass as it tries to encroach in on the tree. And just bury the sulfur and keep it so that it doesn't get blown around when you come by with the mower. That's the key. So need a little more mulch there to close it up. Push it over. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. Okay, after you lay down the mulch, you can run the tire of the mower all the way around the edge without the beaters on, and pack it down so that the mulch doesn't fly away, and so it stays there. That's probably a good thing to do whether you use sulfur or not. But the sulfur stays underneath, and then the mulch is packed by the tire of the mower, and so it keeps it all packed down and doesn't blow away as much then. When you're putting sulfur on the tree, what you can do is heap up the soil a little bit so it's against the tree, and the tree trunk's uphill, and so it'll protect the trunk so that sulfur can't wash in and maybe possibly burn the bark. It's just an extra precaution, but yeah, I think it's a good thing to do whether you're dealing with oaks or, as in this case, the tulip tree or maple tree. The maple tree and tulip tree definitely have to have it sloped up just to protect them, and you should be fine. And it should kill all the weeds, and this band should keep the grass from encroaching in for at least a couple of years or more. And yeah, it works great. We've been doing it for years, and it's a fantastic way to control and keep the grass out so you don't have to work so much weeding around your trees.